Сегодняшний глагол у нас drive. Вести, управлять, водить. Present infinitive. I drive. You drive. He drives. She drives. It drives. We drive. You drive. They drive. Present perfect. I have driven. You have driven. He has driven. She has driven. It has driven. We have driven, you have driven, they have driven. Present continuous. I am driving, you are driving, he is driving, she is driving, it is driving. We are driving, you are driving, they are driving. Present perfect continuous. I have been driving, you have been driving, he has been driving, she has been driving, it has been driving. We have been driving, you have been driving, they have been driving. Past infinitive. I drove, you drove, he drove, she drove, it drove, we drove, you drove, they drove. Past continuous. I was driving, you were driving, he was driving, she was driving, it was driving, we were driving, you were driving, they were driving. Past perfect. I had driven, you had driven, he had driven, she had driven, it had driven, we had driven, you had driven, they had driven. Past perfect continuous. I had been driving, you had been driving, he had been driving, she had been driving, it had been driving, we had been driving, you had been driving, they had been driving. Future infinitive. I will drive, you will drive, he will drive, she will drive, it will drive, we will drive, you will drive, they will drive. Future continuous. I will be driving, you will be driving, he will be driving, she will be driving, it will be driving, we will be driving, you will be driving, they will be driving. Future perfect. I will have driven, you will have driven, he will have driven, she will have driven, it will have driven, we will have driven, you will have driven, they will have driven. Future perfect continuous. I will have been driving, you will have been driving, he will have been driving, she will have been driving, it will have been driving, we will have been driving, you will have been driving, they will have been driving. Conditional. Ну, не так важно, пропуская, как всегда. Так, инфинитивс. To drive, to have driven, to be driving, to have been driving. Спасибо за внимание.